My name, excuse me, is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I was kidnapped in 1941 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of twins, Peggy and Dempsey. I married Childers, and Carl Preston Dempsey was a twin. In fact, when I was brought to Moulton, Alabama, it was a pigsty, a hellhole. Um, both twins were dead. They'd been killed by their mother, Lina Dempsey. They were born out of wedlock. And this is my father, the real King Edward VIII. This is a double that married Wallace Warfield Simpson, American spy. All of it was lies perpetrated by the New World Order, the Jews, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, the Kennedys. Joe Kennedy was appointed ambassador. I'm going to show you this first. I don't have a picture of my mother. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor. This is my aunt, the artist, George O'Keefe. American, Irish. They were Catholic. By the way, I'm the Church of England. This is George's painting. She was quite famous herself in the art. So my family was O'Keefe's. This is my uncle, Elizabeth's father, that made the movie out of, made him out to be a hero, the thug. This is 1939. And they're planning my kidnapping. This is Uncle George, who became illegal, George VI, and Roosevelt. And look at Elizabeth's Queen Mum. She's not the Queen Mum. She's a traitor. So is he, the illegal George VI, and this is Roosevelt, the sorry sot. And I'm going to say it. Words are all I have, and I haven't had those. Okay, I do want to get this in. I wrote in 76 till I had antifreeze put in me at April Fool Day of 80, because that's what this has been, is the April Fool joke on the British by the Americans in the New World Order. Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia. He was brought in there, which was odd. He was shot March the 6th of 78 while I was doing the book. And he wrote this article April of 84 in the Hustler, where he said I knew who was responsible for his shooting March the 6th. In Lawrenceville. I was doing the book in Marietta. So now I want to go to, I'm going to show the twins. This was Carl. And look what the state of Alabama is like. Hey, this is illegal, by the way, and they say that on the birth certificate. The birth date that I grew up using when they brought me here was January the 7th of 39. Well, they had another month, another day, and another year. They marked through it, which you can't do, but they did. They kidnapped me. They've gotten away with it all. This is the birth certificate that I have to use. Not only did they kidnap the monarch, me, Victoria II, put a 99-year seal on my dad, which was total lies, thus the 99-year seal. Kennedy was ambassador appointed by Roosevelt. So they pulled it off. His two sons, Joe and JFK, and the Warren Commission covered the whole thing up. It's okay to kidnap a monarch and take down my father, the monarch, replace it with your own, and then allow the United States to come in there and put his faces all over British soil. Everything British. Geez, let's see. What's British anymore? So they've got us fighting for them and paying for their crimes. That's exactly what's going on. I will say this real quick. I've been kept homeless. Mind you that I should live in Buckingham Palace. I have lived a hell of a life, but I've been kept homeless. I did manage to get in a Section 8 in '06. Section 8 houses, low income. Wow, my jobs were stopped. I hardly had an income. I starved. I froze. in front of everybody. This has all been done in front of for 75 years in plain sight of the people here in this country that are supposed to be so good. You know how much of my money, the British money and German that came in to support this, to keep me alive? I was put on the table going to lobotomize me during the Watergate, and that was on the Watergate tapes. And I worked for the district attorney, Fred Simpson, in Huntsville, that's Madison County, DA, in 80, after I had the antifreeze in me and should have died. And you talk about hell trying to work and pretend nothing's happening. And this woman, Lina Dempsey, using the mental health system to try to kill me. Along with the doctors, I'd written a medical malpractice book about mind control. Larry McDonald, his plane was shot down by the Soviets. And this is when I got in the campaign in 83 and 84, Larry Flynn. I wrote about mind control murders, and I'm going to say this real quick. Timothy McVeigh always told you that the United States put a chip up in the military, and this is implantable biochips. That's what I was writing about in 76, 77, 78. The name of this book is Project Lucid, and this is my sons Mark and Scott. Mark is there after me. Mark Severe, Childers, I hope their names have been changed to proper, but anyway, that's me a long time ago. Mark, heir to the crown after me, and Scott. Now, this is one of the mind control murders. This is Congresswoman Gabby Gifford and this was Tucson, Arizona, where you can program one person or a whole gang or a whole country or a whole world in the end. And the problem there is just one or two people are in control of it. So anyway, that's what's going on, mass mind control. But this is Mark Kelly, twin, and Scott Kelly. This is Mark and Scott, my son's names. And this is Gabby Gifford, his wife, and they're astronauts. And remember, I was put next to NASA in Huntsville when I was kidnapped 40 miles from there in Moulton. And how much of they really got a hostage when they got me, not just money and treaties. But anyway, I'm losing it here a little bit. I wanted to get it on this video before it goes. I wanted to say that NATO, all of this was created after, and it's illegal, the treaties, after I was kidnapped in 41. You got NATO because the United States put all the bases over Great Britain, so they control Finland, Netherlands, Denmark, Norway, which are my family back then, and they're still there. But anyway, they were held hostage, just like I am, and my sons Mark and Scott. They were born here in the United States because couldn't be born anywhere else. I'm here, their mother. I wanted to get that on, though, and my tape's going to go out. The NATO alliance, you assault one, well, everybody, they're going to come in and save you. That's like a Mafia protection. It was illegal. These people that started out were captives. I hope they haven't changed because the United States did it, held them captives, and that's how NATO got started. And I wanted to mention this. First of all, you create a crisis like the United States does, and then you go in and pretend that you're going to clean it up. So that's what's been going on. The United States goes in, they create the mess, and then they go in like the Savior is going to save you. And then in the end, you're so thankful that you do anything to have them come in and save you. The Ebola virus and AIDS. I wrote it in my book before the antifreeze was put in me. By the way, it's different ways to behead you. I hope you have to look at my life and what they've done to me. But the Ebola virus was, I believe, first identified in 76. Center for Disease Control, I wrote about in Emory University, and I put this on tapes before this mess started about 4 months ago. Excuse me, I'm having problems myself here, even living. And anyway, look at the timing, the 1976, what's happened to South Africa. And or Africa.